Hi there, Edward here for Alphamatic. Today is a red banner day for Alphamatic because we're getting to interview a real life entrepreneur. I find this gentleman very inspiring. He has created 16 entrepreneurs. He has over 40 locations. He has 250 plus staff members in his ensemble. And I think a lot of times when we see entrepreneurs being successful, we're not mindful of what it took that entrepreneur to get there, how much time and effort they put in. So hopefully today we'll get insights into one entrepreneur's journey and how it is possible maybe for us to achieve similar results. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Who is Luvuyo?
So it's Luvuyo Rani. So I was born in the Eastern Cape, Ecoman, Queenstown. So I'm the eldest of the four boys, and I grew up, studied there until grade 12. So my father was one of the great rugby players of all times. My mother was a netball player, so they met, and then my mother carried me. She was 18 years, and then she had my brother and then other brothers and all the boys. So I come up in this space where my mother, she was a domestic worker, and then she left the work and then started selling liquor, and then I learned from my mother around entrepreneurial. So I think this me, there's so much element from my mother, but also my father in terms of being the greatest, and so I've got those two qualities.
Tell us about Silulo Technologies.
So its mission is to empower people in the township and rural areas through technology, and especially in this fourth industrial revolution space now. So we see ourselves as an enabler for people who are staying in the areas where there's no infrastructure and no connectivity, no access. So we see Silulo as like, so Silulo is 14 years now existence. Started in Kailicha, where I used to refurbish computers to teachers, and then it grows to open a first-time cafe, and then training centers, and then mobile and IT support. To a friend is quite exciting now, which is the kind of future where we're changing those internet cafe now to become a career center and the business services.
What jobs have you had before Silulo?
There are many jobs. When my father passed away, and I was doing second year at CPUT, so I have to find employment to compensate. Part of the fees that I couldn't even afford. So I work at aquarium. So I used to hand over the flyers and the robots for customers who come in and go to the sea and the beach, and then also to give flyers for customers. So I work at waterfront marketing department, doing marketing surveys for the customers, and then also work at Marcelo's selling frozen yogurt. And I was getting fired there because I couldn't speak English, because I started, my manager was having a problem with me. And then I work at Edcon as a call center, and then calling customers about their account. And then work at Bishop Dyson College in Rondebosch, where they expose of and the culture of private schools and coaching and rugby and cricket. And then culture was different, and I find that I'm not belonging here. And then I spent 5 months, and then I came to Kailicha, looking for a post to be a teacher, and then started teaching for 3.5 years, accounting, business economics. Then started Silulo, and then since then I've been doing Silulo. I've been serving different boards from there.
Why is entrepreneurship important?
It's very important in our country, not only for South Africa, in Africa, not even Africa, in fact, in the world. I mean, like, we're sitting at a situation where we are at probably 29% people unemployed, which is youth. You're sitting at a situation where probably more than 9.5 people can't find employment, and also sitting in a space where even the economy where we are now, it's like we might go to a recession with no time. So, which means that it's the time for entrepreneurs to rise now, because the big businesses, they were able to absorb and employ as many young people to come in. And I think it's one, but two, I think an entrepreneur, it's more the engine of the economy. So you need small businesses to be part, so they can create employment, or they can create more employment and they create more wealth. And I think more than anything, I mean, South Africa has been probably 25 years, not long. I mean, for a black person, was not allowed to have a business. It was illegal for a black person to occupy businesses. So with this transition where we are now, it's important to have more black success businesses. But I think on entrepreneurship, we've been sold in these 25 years, startup, individual. But I think for me, we need more high impact entrepreneur. We've got a scale to grow and create more employment. Small businesses can create one or two, but we need businesses that are going to scale in a big way, they grow, and how the impact of smaller businesses that you could see from that. So it's a kind of a topic that I'm passionate about, I love so much, and it's something that I think what is missing, especially in areas like township rural areas, there's a missing of role modeling, missing of good stories, missing of case studies that people localize. I mean, it's been sick and tired of being told about Mark Zuckerberg and other people. We need to localize it to its context, so that we could have local heroes being grown and celebrated. There's nothing wrong with this American, I mean, nothing wrong with them, but I think something that we miss so much. It's like to celebrate local businesses, because they are potent for the economy.
What were some of the most difficult times you faced as an entrepreneur?
I mean, I've been facing many difficult times as an entrepreneur from the start. I mean, I started this thing from a bootstrap. I mean, to start a business on a car is not a child's play. I mean, so I used to drive this Corsa Light to go to school, in every school in the township. People were not taking me serious. I mean, because even my body was like what you see. I was very tiny, with big head, with big teeth, and no one take me seriously. Like, well, I know, we don't have time for you. Come next week. So it was one, but I mean, access to funding, it was not. I mean, I didn't have money to start a business. I didn't have mentorship and guidance in terms of starting a business. But I have guts, and I follow my heart, and I just go there without even a plan for the business. So it was for a story of slow story is more a story of resilience. Start from there. So when you grow, we were 4 of us, and one of our partner, we couldn't cope with the growth, and then he left us. It was a sad part. And then the last 5 years has been very difficult. I mean, like dealing with staff, was dealing from the business, was a cash business, and dealing with robberies. I mean, where I was gunpoint in Khayelitsha, our head office, where we just moved. We had an amazing office there, and then we've been robbed and traumatized. I went through counseling around that. And then whilst we were in Belleville, we had in some office here, in the head office, we had a fire, everything was being destroyed, and then we lost everything. And then we moved to a different building where, whilst we were buying these properties, we had a situation where we were in the process of buying the properties, and the money went, I mean, like, disappear with criminals coming in and intersect, and then create hacking of YMAs, and then we lost for 2.5 million. But we managed to recover the money, and then we buy this building. And then after that, we still have issues in Khayelitsha even today on the robberies. That's, I mean, there's the biggest issue that we're facing is crime. So it's hitting us in the big times now. So it's kind of like endless story. It's so difficult to run a business in a township, but it's amazing with opportunities. So you probably need to have a thicker skin through that, because the journey is not ending, still continue in terms of going through these tough times.
What were some of the highlights of being an entrepreneur?
I mean, the amazing highlights that have been, one, it's to be in a program in Harvard where I was with 40 social entrepreneurs around the world, spending 2 weeks on a program which is system leadership, and I learned so much in terms of about me, but also about in terms of as Silulo, what are we dealing with the system? Are we agitators? Are we innovators? Are we disruptors? So it makes me kind of have a context in terms of where we are in terms of our mission. And also been part of the Davos meetings. It's kind of amazing space. I mean, it's a space that every Czech engine in the world, people who are doing very well, amazing people, they are there and they're talking about the agenda of the world, where the world is moving. So that was like it. But more than anything, it's just like, if I look at from 2007 until this year, every year Silulo has been winning awards. I mean, best entrepreneur, one of the youngest people in the world, social entrepreneur. I mean, look, so we've been awarded and getting much more, around that. But most important, it's when I met one of our students either in Waterfront or in Premier's office, and then they would come and say, "Thank you, Mr. Rani. I'm finding employment now because of you." And that's kind of one thing that for me, it meaning its impact. That is where we changing people's life through technologies and able to see change in that aspect. I mean, it's also highlight when you see people in the deeper rural areas, when you bring this connectivity and centers, and then it changes the entire town, and people now, entrepreneurs can come in and depend on Silulo in running their businesses. It becomes their offices. So I think it's kind of a highlight in terms of how this thing from a Budapest to where it is now, and how it's kind of evolving and growing, and about people who are part of this organization. I mean, we've got 250 people who are working on this organization, who are really amazing, and we've got about 17 entrepreneurs. Franchise that are part of us that continue with Silulo. So this is the kind of thing that I'm grateful for, and I think more than anything is just to praise God that enables for us to achieve what we achieve.
What advice would you give to new entrepreneurs?
I mean, my advice I would give to entrepreneurs, I think more than anything, it's follow your passion. I mean, it's for us, it's to love what we do. It's we're passionate about what we do. I mean, I learned the lesson early in my life that man is got 4 legs. You can't catch money, but if you do great and you provide good customer service, people that love what you do, money follows you. And that's kind of something that I kind of learned in terms of, how you do something that you love so much that you get rewards because of that what you do, and it's what for entrepreneur, because it's the fire that keeps you going. But it's tough. It's not for everyone entrepreneur. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur, but it's very tough. Sometimes you find the family not even supporting. You find even that your husband or wife not being in space, and it creates some problems entrepreneurship in many families. But that fire in you will keep you. And so it's one for passion, but 2 hard work. This is not for CC. You have to work for this thing. It's been 14 years. I'm still working as if like it's my first year. So you must work very hard. If you are lazy, don't come and do other things. There's not a space to learn for lazy people. So you must work very hard. When smart people, work hard, smart, it will happen at some point. But hard work in the beginning was you have to build something which has nothing. And I think it's have to focus. Now I'm kind of like see the value of how important it is to focus and doing less. And focus and nail it and laser focus in what you do and be best in what you do. You can't be in everything. You try to do everything. It's like I ask myself in terms of if I ever done a tender, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know the document. For me, it's just like to focus what I do and grow what I do. At some point, I will probably diversify it once. More than anything, it's more about attitude, because your attitude determines your attitude, because it's attitude that says that you could do it. But things for many entrepreneurs is to say that we need more social entrepreneurs in this country, because of the problem that's been created by system, that we need more people who care about their community, who care about the society, who've got businesses that make differences. I mean, it's amazing to make difference, but also make money at the same time, because it feels and you are building kind of a legacy that you look up in years to come.
What are your thoughts on the fourth industrial revolution?
It's here now. It's no longer about something that's going to come in. We are in the fourth industrial revolution. We are in the AI is like what drives us. I mean robotics and then automation. It's part of our life now, and I think we need to embrace it. And I think we need to know that it's here with us. It makes our life better and bigger, and it's going to create some havoc. Some routine jobs that are coming on the time. It's going to create unemployment. People are going to lose jobs because repetitively robot will take over and then AI will take over in terms of the jobs. But it brings us opportunity. There's going to be new jobs that's going to be created. That for us we need. So the opportunity is to reskill many of our people. And opportunity is going to be now. It's a lifelong learning now. So we won't be able to say now I've got my degree and it's like, so the education is going to be ongoing. And I think for us as a training provider, where we are, we see a future. This brings us a future, because no one is going to train these people in the township except us. So as much as it creates this problem, it creates an opportunity for us. And I think it's needed us as an African to position ourselves in this area so that we can come up with solutions. Because at the moment what we see solution now, they're coming from Silicon Valley, and then they've been coming from us. It's not been localized, not been done in our own way, but we can have our own apps and our own solution that are able to work with the context where we are now. So we need to embrace it, and we need to make sure that we see it as an opportunity instead of trying to fight it.
How important are smartphones?
I think smartphones are powerful more than the computer. So we're doing a course now with mobile for small businesses, in terms of how do you use your phone better in your businesses? How do you use WhatsApp Business to run your businesses instead of how do you use Google Calendar to schedule and run your businesses? How do you use an app where you look at what you use this app for coordinating direction? But it's more that most of the things that you need in your business are here on your phone, and your phone can make it easy your businesses to run it, because everything is kind of it's online now. So the importance is more, it creates efficiency. It makes you to market your business better. It makes you to connect with but also it makes you to make sure that you run in a business that you can even see and measure in terms of what you're looking for. And the smartphone are so great for smaller businesses where there's limited resources. So you could do your tender, your document using your smartphone. You could scan it and able to do everything using your smartphone. And I think as far as we see ourselves, that the next big thing now is to train people in terms of how they use the smartphone, because that's why the missing part was, I think probably 10% people are using a smartphone don't understand, but we see that we could offer more courses that then opens up for people to realize that they've got a power on the small smartphone they have, that they have power that they can able to connect in any way and able to use it to drive their business.
Final thoughts? A question for the audience.
Good question. So final thoughts, it's more to say that it's now or never. We need to stimulate a culture of entrepreneurship in our community. We need to support small businesses, buy from small businesses. And we need also give a chance for small businesses. They make mistakes, they promise to deliver and then under-deliver. and we need to give them a chance to assist now. But also we need to look at in terms of how can we, look for access to funding, access to market, access to infrastructure, because those are key things to develop more businesses. I think, my question is more, how can we make entrepreneurship cool? So that young people can see as a kind of a career choice. So how can we celebrate local entrepreneurs and also show with our money and go there and support them so they can create more employment and they can grow and they can make money.
Last one, can you say goodbye to everybody? So, for example, I'm Luvuyo from Cellular Technologies.
Yes.
Take care, everyone. Pretty simple. Just for the edit.
That's a tricky one. Okay. I Luvuyo Rani from Silulo, and take care of everyone. I'm not sure. I'll say goodbye. No. The last one.
Okay. That's
Big tricky.
Yeah, no, like I'm here to trick you.
Yeah, I know.